First of all, thanks so much for the invitation. I have attended a couple of meetings, and that's why I'm here. So to introduce myself a little bit, this is me. I'm part of an organization called Los Rethinkers. We were rebranded this year. We used to be called Design Thinkers Group Spain. Design Thinkers Group is a network of companies around the world, and we have evolved, all of us. So we have created different brands and different specialities, but still work as a network. So we are part of a bigger network in 20 countries. So we do innovation consulting, mostly with government, some institutions, and some also big companies and mixed companies, private, public partnerships as well. We're based in Barcelona, and we service the Spanish-speaking market in the Latin America, Europe, and the USA. for deploying these projects across the years, we've been working for more than 15 years. We have noticed the one key element of consulting today is providing install capacity in organizations so change can actually happen and remain. So that's why we created a parallel brand that is focused only on training. So this is all about training, and it's called La Innovation Kitchen. It's all about training. It's all about developing skills. So we combine both brands when we deploy projects. Some projects are, sometimes they are requested to be more a training-oriented project, and some others are more consulting projects. And then we can combine the elements and the team from both companies. Both are links, so you can explore deeper later if you go to the link. That's me, and that's me on LinkedIn. You can connect. Feel free to do so. So what we're going to talk about today is an initiative that we have developed with the Institute of Leadership. The Institute of Leadership is in the UK. We have been collaborating with them for some years. We're close to the director, the CEO, and we have done some projects together. So in different conversations and different meetings, there was always the question about leading innovation, which is the topic that we are all here for. So one of the main issues, or one of the main questions that people have at the Institute and in our project was, and some of you mentioned it before, is how do I really get that sponsorship for initiatives in innovation? How do I reach out, and how can I get the resources and the channels and people moving into actually implementing and maintaining, keeping innovation as a culture inside organizations? So that's a big question. And a lot of the people who participate in activities at the Leadership Institute in our projects as well has that struggle. So many of the contacts of the leaders that we work with have that issue. They can be in different levels of the organization, and they sometimes can make decisions, sometimes can provide the resources, but sometimes not. So they have the struggle of how to get the sponsorship. So the question was more about how can innovators lead, or how can leaders innovate? So this is like a circle, right? Do we need more innovators to lead, or do we need more leaders to start innovating? So around that, we had the idea of coming up with with a forum. So the forum was like a research moment, right? For both of us, for the Leadership Institute and for us. And we decided to invite clients and collaborators and friends to discuss this, to share the struggles, to share the tips, to share all these experiences that innovation leaders and leaders have within organizations. So we organized this process of putting them together, getting them together, then dividing them in very small groups, like 3 or 4 people in breakout rooms. We did this online. We had people from all over the world. We divided them in breakout rooms. We had one moderator per breakout room. And then we formulated some questions. And then we started a conversation that lasted 2 days. So we were connecting, working, they were connecting among them. And it was intended to be a meeting point for conversation. It was, at the end, it was somehow therapeutical, it was therapy for everybody. But we did come with a lot of interesting insights about how can we, move this forward into involving leaders into innovation and helping innovators lead better. So that was a very interesting thing that I will show you the developing. So this is how we prepared it. So we created some questions here. We planned how to bring them, how to create the safe space for conversation, and that was simply creating very small groups, like 3 or 4 people who can break the ice and can actually connect. And some of them still are working together, talking to each other. And the small group was, I think it was key, right? Because if we had done something bigger, like groups of 10 people or groups of maybe people will not feel so free or be open to share as much as they did. So we also had some purposes, like some objectives, some expected outcomes. So, and that was all part of a planning. The idea with the Institute is to provide skills, both for their clients and for our clients. So let me go ahead with the next slide. Okay. So this is like part of the implementation. If you individually go to the video, you can check like the type of conversation that we had. The Institute promoted, invited directly, and we had people from all over the world. We had people from big companies like Hewlett Packard, like SEAT, like Telefonica, and we brought people also from the private sector and the public sector. One important thing that when we were sending the invitation and creating the list was we need to combine both. We need to combine people who are high ranked in job positions that are decision makers. So they come as leaders of organizations, directors, CEOs, VPs, etc. And then we need to also bring people who actually do the work, right? It's people who actually have the initiatives, people who actually have to implement that. And if possible, we could bring teams, right? Like people who have to do the reports and report to those in C-suite or in higher positions. And we made it. I mean, we were able to reach not really half and half, but we have 40% of high-ranked officials and directors, and the rest was people who had participated in projects or trainings, or we were involved in innovation projects. So when we did the breakout rooms, and that's something that might be interesting for everybody. What we were really careful was to put in each breakout room a moderator that we knew that we had worked with, directly in projects or that we knew closely. So we could have these like a study group capturing the insights, capturing the feeling, right, in each room. So if you go to any of the links, you can check how it was promoted and what the conversation was about. This is a clip from a YouTube video in our YouTube channel. Then after we collected the insights after the forum ended, we needed to synthesize that, to come out with some products, right? The first product was a report that we sent to all participants because we gathered the insights. We worked on the analysis of each breakout room was recorded, so we had to again see all the videos, take the insights, work a lot on gathering which were the main concerns, which were the main obstacles, how people would gain attraction inside the organizations for innovation projects, innovation budget, and sponsorship as well. And we put all that in a report. It's an ebook that we distributed to all the participants. And this became a link between everybody who came to the forum for new conversations, new connections, and new talks, right? Either inside the forum, either officially with the forum, or among them. And that was one of the purposes that we had, was to create this network, to make it stronger, and to help people connect with each other and start conversations and hopefully start collaborations. So we had collaborations inside the organizations, and we had collaborations between organizations. So that was one important outcome from the forum, and we still work with some of them. Then on another level, more internally for us, each year we offer, you can see here, we have a leadership group of learning experiences at La Innovation Kitchen. So each year we design learning experiences for in-company training according to what we know companies need each year. So I'm zooming in a little bit. So this is for this year. We have collective leadership, complex problem solving, entrepreneurship, lateral leadership, lead to innovate, which is the basic, right? And team management. We realized that lateral leadership and collective leadership was a big tool that people needed. And I'm going to explain that in the conclusions. So those are things that are popping up from the insights of the forum and from the things that we get from our clients. Another way, you can see that most of these trainings and most of these activities are in English, and La Innovation Kitchen works in both English and Spanish, and sometimes we do some trainings in German as well. And then for Los Rethinkers holds the projects for the Spanish-speaking market. So here, culture is different. So we created some coaching sessions for teams, and that worked beautifully because teams during projects they need additional help, right? That is not exactly related to the project, but to the team and to leadership itself, to how to navigate the organization with an innovation project, how to get the sponsorship, et cetera, et cetera. So we created like these three coaching opportunities for those teams. The first one is about lateral leadership. The second one is about collective leadership, right? And the third one is about networking. So how to really navigate, power inside the organization. So these are like some of the tools that we have developed, like the publication, some trainings and learning experiences, some direct help to teams when we deploy projects in organizations. So this is the post, the results of what we gather and what we collected, the information we collected during the forum. We haven't had a second version of the forum yet. That's something that I need to clarify. So the idea here is that innovation leadership may be related to the questions that Rob was posing at the beginning of the call, and that means how easily can we connect, how easily can we network, and how easily can we navigate, the structure of power and the sponsorship of these projects, especially in times like this where we have restricted budgets. Well, everything that you discussed before is a fact. So that those are facts that need to be addressed for current projects or developing clients or et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I wanted to show from the Lead to Innovate forum. And the next thing I'm going to do is ask you, having this in mind, because here we have like two main stages, right? Designing and creating the forum. That means the meeting point, the gathering space for people to discuss and to share, right, and to connect. Then we have the products to help them, like the resources to help them. And then we would like to explore with all of you which would be the next step for actually creating or making this network stronger, making even this same group stronger, more collaborative, more down to facts and actions. How could we do that? So if you access the link, I'm going to paste the link again here. I would really like you, I will ask you to, we have here 3 horizons, right? So we have horizon 1, which was creating the leadership forum, creating the network, putting together the people, putting together the questions, right? Posing the questions. The second horizon was developing how can we help that network? How can we deploy, let's say, tools, resources that can help that network go through the issues that we identified during the forum. So my question to you, and you can write in those white post-its, is how do you imagine better tools, better meeting points, better collaborations, or better spaces, right, to support a network like this one, right? How can we create those spaces? I don't know if you think about, I don't know, artificial intelligence or events or whatever you may imagine to really help innovation leadership networks to get together and be able to work better. So my question to you is, please get into the board and feel free to write, which do you imagine? We imagine these courses, we imagine these learning experiences, we imagine coaching, we imagine publications that can go through. But what do you think? I don't know if maybe we can have probably 5 minutes for this, Rob? How's our time?
That sounds good, Jorge. And that will give us the best part of 10 minutes to kind of reflect, discuss questions, answers after it.
Perfect. So I'm going to stop talking. I'm going to stop annoying you, and I'm going to start 5 minutes for you to work. Okay, good. If you come out with any other ideas or something comes to your mind after this session, you have the links. You can go there anytime. You can explore what we've done. You can explore the videos, everything. So keep that link. so you can go deeper into everything. We given it, a big thought, and this is something our team truly reflects every year about when planning. So just to close the session, I wanted to share some learnings uh, with all of you about this process. And this is an ongoing process. We don't think this is finished, and it will probably never finish because we will keep going with initiatives and activities. But what we really want to, let's say, share today is one here we have four of the many insights that we got from the forum. And the first one is that one person does not make innovation in an organization. Everybody agreed that it needs to be a collective effort. And that's why we focus a lot on collective leadership as well. So one of the discussions and some of the pains that we detected during the forum, and that is in the report as well, is sometimes we have one or two people that are really, really pushing, to drive change or to innovate or to create new ways of doing things. And it's really hard if no one else is on board. So one big conclusion was if you don't have support, if you don't have a collective that can support the process, it's really difficult to create a culture of innovation or create a habit of rethinking processes and rethinking what we do. So that was something that everybody realized. So it needs to be a collective effort, and here is where collective leadership is key. How do we work as a collective, to lead these processes, and how can we foster this collective leadership, not individual leaderships, but collective, right? To help everybody become a leader. So the next one is innovation is really a mindset. So it becomes like a process of changing of the mindset, and it's a transition in our mental processes, and it relates to the collective perception of risk. So it relates directly to fear, right? Fear of failing, collective failing, and individual failing. So that's the perception of risk that most of the participants talked about. So there is this, when you talk about innovation, there is always the factor of failure and risk, right? We of course we promote the embracing failure and embracing risk, but some organizations have different perceptions of risk. So changing that mindset depends a lot on the collective perception of risk. If the organization is very risk oriented, the processes will run faster than if it is not, right? The next insight that we came up with is collective and lateral leadership can mitigate that perception of risk, and it's a matter of shared meaning. What do we understand by risk? What do we see as risky? So the first way to change the perception of risk is to really create collective leadership, create lateral leadership, right? Foster lateral leadership, and start working on what do we understand by failure and risk. So that will really, really change and create the environment for a culture of innovation. These are all things, is not me saying it, it's just the people that participated in the forum that came up with these conclusions, right? And the last one that I want to share with you is people definitely need tools and knowledge to deal with change. When we talk about innovation, we talk about change, of course, we all know it. But people need tools, people need methods, people need models, right? To really tackle change or manage change. and create innovation. So as leaders and as a collective, we need to go into which tools are we going to provide the whole organization to mitigate or manage change, risk, and innovation, right? So that was something that a lot of participants said we didn't have. We wanted to, but we didn't have any tools. We didn't have any knowledge about how to do this. So we really wanted to do change. We really wanted to innovate, to improve our processes, but we didn't have the tools, or we didn't know how to do that. So those are the four main insights that I can share with you today. There are a lot more insights, of course, but we have a very limited time. So this is everything from me today. And thank you for listening.
Yeah, thanks, Jorge, for a very, very interesting presentation, very revealing presentation. I just wanted to come back on the question about risk, because I think as innovators, we understand what risk is. It's often the risk of failure. But I've worked mostly in big organizations, and big organizations management has a lot of difficulty with risk. You know, I want to be innovative, but don't fail, whatever you do. How do you, have you got an approach to that? Is there a way you can, that the innovators can educate leaders, or do leaders need to start with the mindset we can fail? I don't know.
Well, during the forum and during the trainings that we do, right, and coaching the teams, we have understood that creating this collective leadership is very important. The forum itself, we had, like C-suites, and during the forum, they understood this, and they understood their own avoidance of risks. So they understood that risk and innovation are connected, and the way they measure, of course, there are many ways of measuring risk, and corporations have methods and software for measuring risk, and somehow avoiding risk, right? Some other organizations are risk oriented. So one important thing is to know if your organization is risk oriented or avoids risk. And there are types of organizations for everything. So we cannot say banks are not risk oriented, because many banks are risk oriented. So identifying what type of risk perception the organization has is key, and when is the proper time to develop that collective leadership. So you start with lateral leadership on innovation, right? And then you create these multiplicators, right? You train those trainers, and then it needs to spread into collective leadership. And then the perception of risk, conversations about risk are important. So creating forums or creating these conversations, even during meetings, is important. What do we understand by risk? How are we avoiding risk? Right? That's the key, talking about the risk, because it changes the perception and it can improve the culture for innovation. So that's what they mentioned, especially the C-suites. I was really surprised to see the C-suites saying, if we talk more about risk, maybe we'll understand it better.
I also meet organizations who say, now you come with more tools on top of the tools we already have, we are overwhelmed. Have you met that as well? Or maybe could you elaborate? Because many mature organizations, they have tons of tools and systems, and some are already overwhelmed. So what do you do, not just to put more tools on top of too many tools already?
I think that the key is relating the tools to the needs. So what do we actually need to do? Like in a workshop, like in a physical workshop, you have a hammer and you have a, so when do I use this? When do I use this? When do I need this? So people do have a lot of tools and toolkits, because there are toolkits for everything, and you can go online and download 100,000 toolkits for anything. But people need to actually adopt them as tools. So things that they can use at any time. And maybe people want, in different organizations or different teams within an organization, they won't need everything. So helping people identify which are their tools, right, for their work is really key, because they get overwhelmed. Like, what do I do with all this software and canvases and methods? And I need those that in my department or team are useful for me, right? And then people will value them and will use them, because very often you provide everybody with the same tools, and that's a big mistake, because you overwhelm them, and they don't need them. I mean, they probably need 3 or 4 to do their work. So when we do the coaching, we identify that. So when we do the coaching, we say, okay, which are the most common issues you have to face in your work? Okay, use this, and this, and how to use it. So they become masters of 3 or 4 tools. So then they're useful. But if you have, like a whole hardware store, you don't really know where to go or how to use them. So give people the tools they need, the exact tools they need, and help them identify the tools they need. They will go online and explore, of course, and they will download, and they will then forget about those unless they're useful.
Karina, I'm going to hand over to you for maybe a 1 minute, whatever you'd like to say to wrap up. Jorge, if people want to chat more with you, maybe drop something into chat so they have a link to be able to do that. And Karina, over to you to take us out. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Sorry for the late arrival. I was flying through the skies, but got here as fast as I could. Big grand merci and big thanks to Jorge and gracias for your wonderful talk. And I'm glad we have a recording. So just a last reminder, because we have a really exciting fall lineup for the Innovation Leadership SIG. I think Rob has filled you in on all of the activities, but I wanted to highlight the Innovation Leadership in Africa series that has been ongoing. We've got 2 more webinars this month coming up on September 12th and September 25th. With wonderful speakers from around Africa who will speak to organizational innovation on September 12th, and then ecosystem innovation on September 25th. But I saved the best for last. The best part is that on October 18th and 19th, we will have a live event in Rabat, Morocco, a 1.5 day workshop. And we really want you to come and be there with us. For all our innovation leaders, you absolutely have to be there, because this is about creating the future agenda for innovation leadership, not only internationally, but for Africa. So we need your bright minds, your innovation spirits to help us create this agenda for innovation leadership research and practice. So I've included the link in there and really hope to see you. It's a fabulous Rabat, it's a capital of Morocco. It's right on the cusp of the sea, the Atlantic Sea, and a river. Gorgeous. It's really beautiful. And we've saved a Moroccan night for you as well before you leave Rabat. So hope to see your registrations. Hope to see you here. This is Rabat in the background.
That's pretty persuasive, everyone. Look, all time is up. If you have to leave, please go. I'm going to hang around for 5-10 minutes if people want to chat afterwards. Good to see you. We will see you at the next monthly meeting as well. All the best.